Hello to myself and everybody else. This is an update video, or an update of video 14. So far in this video, I'm making this after I made the rambling video 14 and everything, because I basically just acquired new information that's going to kind of affect my plan for how these videos are going to come out and what I'm really going to be doing for the rest of the year, as well as the rest of my like college and everything. Like, basically, just this is going to affect a lot of stuff. But first thing is Happy New Year's, because this video will be coming out on New Year's, so happy 2025. And so far, just to start off, just like what the new information is that basically I finally am allowed to drop computer science, and I can just get the one degree I was going for, information technology. So instead of me having, like, counting this semester coming up, spring of 2025, basically instead of having 2 years and stuff left, so it'll be this year and then next year and everything, it's just going to be, I have this semester and then I have the fall semester after this summer, so the fall of 2025. And after that, I should, if I pass everything, should be done with my degree and then be able to just leave. So since I won't be in college as long, I won't really have as much time to, like, practice and plan and do everything and stuff that I need, that my original plan was to basically, like, be in college, try to keep making these videos, getting practice in and get better, a week at a time and stuff like that. But I can still keep practicing, but even when I was in college and stuff anyway, I didn't have an infinite amount of time. I basically would just have to do a bunch of schoolwork, and that would pad a bunch of time. So basically, I will only have the morning to try to get better or to practice. So either way, just like possibility of free time I have is going to be less. Um, just the main thing overall and stuff with that too is, since my time at college is going to be less, with basically me finishing like a year earlier, then basically after college I have to work on getting like internships and certifications and stuff, and like programming and Microsoft and all that. So that is basically going to take up a lot of time of basically take away from me, like programming a bunch of stuff and working on my games and trying to improve on like music and art and everything. But it should probably at least help me with my programming, which is a pretty good thing. It's just I won't be able to, like, practice my art and all that stuff as much. Even then, it was like rare. Like, when I got to practice, I basically would practice like a day before I would record the video. But with this, I'll have even less time to be able to do what I need to do. And because of the certifications, I can never just look that up, just try to find some stuff, watch a bunch of YouTube videos, and try to, like, learn stuff. Just learn, like, what programming language I need to and things like that. Same thing with, like, internships. That I just have to look into some stuff. It just, again, I really don't care too much about doing IT and everything. I really want to make video games, but anytime I kind of brought that up, everybody just kind of dismissed me, so I'm kind of just stuck doing this. So I gotta, like, just figure something out with this, just try to find an IT thing and just, like, work with that, just whatever I can. But what this basically means for my goals for the career I want, which is making video games, and for the videos I make, basically, since me finishing college earlier, I know when I'm done with college, I'm going to be forced to do, like, a lot of stuff, just like, looking for a job, certifications, internships, and all that stuff too. And that's definitely going to cut down time I have to really make these, but I will not give up on trying to work towards the career I want. Like I said, I can do IT and everything, try to make money on the side, see if I can learn something, and then just keep trying to improve on my art, programming, and music making skills so I can be able to make video games and do what I genuinely want to do. As well as I'm just gonna have to like try to make bigger buffers and everything and stuff in my videos, because currently, as of when I recorded this, I definitely have a pretty big buffer in some of my videos because I recorded enough for like at least January, like to get through that. This video I'm just releasing a bit earlier because, again, just kind of like a big update for the year and everything and stuff, so it's going to affect a lot of things. So I kind of want that for me in the future, so I can be like, okay, when did this video come out, when did everything change and everything like that. So that's the whole thing with that. I'll try to just record more videos while I'm in college, so that can at least help me push me to like practice more, try to increase my skills more, and at least try to get better with some basics and fundamentals, like at least quicker, so I can at least have a better understanding of some of the basics, and from there be able to just use that and just get better before I have to like, use most of my time doing a bunch of other stuff. Then the other thing I have to do is like practice more frequently and everything, in which I might have to do a thing that I hear you really shouldn't do, is try to draw every single day so I can improve and get better with this. I hear that's a thing you probably shouldn't do, I guess, because it like either burns you out or, just like makes you not really inspired when you do it or whatever. You're just kind of like forcing yourself, but I'm going to have to do that so I can just make more videos and try to improve faster and force myself to work through these books a bit faster. But I still want to try to comprehend the stuff and get the basics down. So I won't try to like run through it too quick. I'll genuinely try to work at a decent pace, practice enough, but still try to keep moving forward. So I'm not like now where it's taking me longer to get through a bunch of stuff. Beyond that, like the time of me achieving my goals in career of like making video games and everything, that's definitely has been pushed back by probably like a few years, because especially since like I thought I'll be doing this while in college and stuff, but computer science was taking most of my time anyway, so with that I genuinely didn't have much time to practice or do anything else either. But basically I could still at least kind of confirm I could do some stuff. It just, I gotta see how that works, but I'm pretty sure my goals and the plans I have for a bunch of games like push back. So the game I'm currently working on and the games I had ideas for, that's going to be pushed back and stuff as well. But I promise you I will keep working on this stuff. So I just will not give up on that. I will just keep working and just seeing what I can do with that, because I genuinely do want this to work out. So I'm going to just see what I can do. And that's basically like everything I had to say specifically for like the message and everything and stuff for that too, which mostly is for me in the future so I can know where everything like changed and what happened and all that. But yeah, so far this next part and everything and stuff though too is mostly just going to be mostly a rant and stuff for myself, and just, what currently is going on and all that for me. So basically, I know most people will probably skip this anyway. If somebody's watching this, they will just skip it anyway because it's going to be marked as a rambling video. But basically, just going into the rant and everything and stuff now. Basically, I could have had my IT degree like either I could have graduated this semester, the like fall 2024, could have finished this, graduated, been done. Or I could have probably graduated like the spring of 2024, so before summer. I could have been done with all this. It just the thing is, I could have been done with all this. It's just the main thing of the reason why I'm basically in college in the first place is because my parents forced me to go. I didn't want to go to college. They forced me to go to college, so I had no choice or say in that. And anytime I said something of like, oh, I want to do video games as a career, they kind of just dismissed that and were just like, okay, you want to do IT? And I was like, no, that's not the same thing. And they're like, yeah, whatever, we don't care. IT, do that. I'm like, okay. I thought I would at least learn like programming or something, but it became painfully clear in technical college that I wasn't going to learn a thing. But anytime I raised any concerns or said anything, I was just like brushed off by everybody. Like people in my family, my parents, anyone else, just they would just brush that off. So I just got like stuck doing a whole bunch of crap I really didn't want to do. Didn't learn anything from it, but at least from the hatred and rage I built up from just like being in college wasting my time, I at least got started making games and just learning stuff on my own because I was wasting so much time at school. I just hated feeling like I was completely useless and everything. And it is just annoying that, again, I could have been doing this like a while ago. I could have had less debt and everything and stuff like that. But so far, it's just like, because the reason why I'm basically the reason I'm allowed to drop computer science and stuff now, like my parents allow me to do that, is because basically like financial aid, I have like so many credits that they're basically like, oh, we probably aren't going to cover your financial aid and stuff for your tuition and all that. So because of that, basically my parents finally realized, okay, what he's been saying makes sense. It's either he leaves with no degree or he leaves with 1 degree. So I finally convinced him to let me drop one, get the easier one, and then leave. The thing that's annoying me is the fact that they basically are trying to turn this around on me, being like, oh, this is your fault, you didn't get this degree earlier. If you would have just disregarded what we said and did this, you could have had this earlier. And I'm like, again, I kept bringing this plan up, y'all kept dismissing it. And then when I say that, they're basically just like, oh, you don't understand how the real world works. And then they basically just like go on a rant, basically just like something nonsensical that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. When I'm like, because they're like, oh, you should have been getting internships while you're in college. You should have been talking to people and, everything and stuff like that. And I'm like, I've been saying for years, computer science has taken up majority of my time. I leave class, go to my dorm, and then immediately I have a bunch of work I have to do in a short amount of time that I have no idea how to do, so I have to try to research it, look it up. The teachers don't answer questions or help you whatsoever, so that's a big problem. So when I'm asking for help on that, I'm getting none, which has caused me to like fail those computer science classes, because every class I failed so far has been computer science only, and then I have to retake the computer science classes. And because of that, that's been pushing me back a lot of time, because a lot of the computer science classes are time sensitive, where it's like, oh, you fail this class, you can only take it again in the fall, you can only take it again in the spring, you can only take it again every 2 years. I'm like, yeah, that's why I kept saying, let me drop computer science, because it's literally holding me back, taking up majority of my time. And if I drop this, I can then just use that free, like, see how my schedule stuff is, see how the workload is, which it should be less, use that, and then I have time to actually do stuff of like talking to people, trying like get a part-time job or whatever on campus, just like other things like that. But anytime I brought that up, it was immediately dismissed, being like, no, stick with computer science and do this other thing. And now the fact that it's like, okay, they may not pay for stuff, they're like, okay, well, now we'll do your plan, but it's your fault, you should have been doing this, or you shouldn't have failed these classes. Even though I'm like, yeah, 90% of the people in the class fail it, because the teachers don't tell you anything until after you fail. They don't tell you how to do problems, they leave off information there's no way you can know off the top of your head until they tell you. And my parents are just like, okay, well, it's still your fault somehow. So do you need a tutor or something? I'm like, no, I don't have time to study, because they literally give me too much work and I don't have time to study. But with that, they dismiss it and just go, okay, so you need a tutor or something, or you need to work on your study habits. And I'm like, it's the workload from this class. That's why I said, let me drop this. And then they go on another rant again saying, I don't know how the world works, and just something nonsensical to basically just something so they don't have to ever say, oh, you're correct. We were wrong on this. Sorry about that. They'll try everything they can to never have to apologize to me, ever. So, even if I say, oh yeah, the first road on the right is the one to get to somewhere, they will ignore that, take every other road. Then when they find the correct one, they'll go, oh, well, at least we found it. And I'm like, I told you where to go. You acknowledge that you heard what I said. They'll still be like, anyway, we found, like, they just won't admit they were wrong at all. It's really annoying. Especially since, like, again, I keep saying this a lot. I really want to make video games because I enjoy doing it. I like learning the process, learning the steps, coming up with story, characters, games, mechanics, just like coming up with everything and stuff for it. But to them, they just kind of see like my first project, Shadow Child. They just kind of see that because that was like one of the first ones they saw. Because the first ones I worked on was Top Hat Hero. They really didn't see that game, but they were there at the tournament. They didn't see the game, and they really never asked to see it. But then they saw Shadow Child, which was one of the first games I worked on my own. They saw that, and ever since then, they kind of just have been like, oh, you can't do this. Like, they saw the early version Shadow Child and everything, which, like I said, I'll admit, it's not really a good looking game. It looks really basic and simple and everything. I will, and this is probably biased, but I'll say at least gameplay wise, it's at least not bad. Difficult a little bit, but still not bad. If you play it, you'll probably enjoy it. It's just that the music isn't that good and the art style is very simple because I had no idea how to draw music. I had no idea how to make it, and the music I had someone else make. I didn't really know how to explain what to make, so that was a whole thing with that. But in total, at least at the title screen that was made by somebody else was like really good, and the bonus stage music made by me, I say that's pretty good. It's just the main stages, those really don't have too much good music. But the main thing about it is they saw my early version of the game where I was like, yeah, I'm just making this to learn Game Maker, learn how to program in it, learn the basics. They kind of looked at that and were just like, okay, so this is the maximum of your capability. This is the max you could do. If you try it again and if you practice for 50 years, this is the max you could do. So you're terrible at it. There's no point. You're not going to be successful at it. Nobody's going to buy this. You're going to not make money from it. Like, they look at a rough sketch or a demo and they're just like, oh, it's terrible. You have no talent for this. Give up. It's only once it succeeds, then they're like, oh yeah, we always believed you could do it. And I'm like, no, you didn't. You didn't believe at all until it succeeded. It's just the whole thing where they're like, they don't want to look bad and they just want to like never admit they're wrong. It's really annoying with that. But yeah, just the whole thing with that too is just that like my parents just royally like messed me over on this because I could have been working on other stuff, getting certifications, getting experience, learning a bunch of stuff if they would have just let me drop computer science. So I wouldn't have had to retake classes. I could have had more time to do stuff once my schedule was freed up. Because I could have like just got used to the classes, worked with it a bit, and then from there just move forward. But anything I said was a terrible idea because I brought it up. So because of that, it's just like I am just really just like in a hole and everything now. Just having to try to like figure out what to do and all that. So far, just debt from college that wasn't worth it. I haven't learned anything. I have a useless piece of paper known as a degree that really isn't going to help me with anything. Because people will see that and be like, oh, you know what you're doing. I'm like, no, I don't. And since for some reason everyone assumes I'm lying about everything, like, that's even worse because now people see I have a degree And if I say I don't know how to do this, they'll just not teach me or tell me anything and then just be like, oh, you should have known how to do it. I'm like, I told you I don't, but you have a degree. That doesn't mean nothing. I told you I don't know. Well, how are we supposed to know you didn't know? I'm like, I told you that. Well, you never said anything, so it's gonna be really annoying with this. But basically, again, I just need to like focus on just like improving my own skills for what I said. Just keep messing with Game Maker and everything. Work on making music and art. The certifications for other stuff like programming languages. At least with that, I'll learn other programming languages so I can at least improve on that. So I'll at least try to get a bit better. And I have no idea really what to use those other languages for, but at the very least, I'll learn other languages to be able to hopefully do something with them. I don't know, but I'll just like try to work on that, use YouTube, and just try to like learn, because college was a huge waste of time. Like I legit could have just went on YouTube and not went to college, but no matter what I say, I'm wrong. So yeah, just the whole thing with that. But I'll just see how this goes and everything. But just somehow, if anyone else is listening to this, because I know I will in the future, but if anybody else is listening to this, the main thing I do have to say is, don't let a bunch of idiots like ruin what you want to do. Don't let a bunch of idiots walk up and just go, okay, you can't do this, this looks terrible, give up, even though this is a learning experience for you, and they're treating it like it's the final result. Just ignore them. You know what you want to learn. Look into it, practice it, try to learn it. Don't put a time limit on yourself. Don't try to rush through it. Just genuinely work and try to learn it. Because once you learn it, they can't take that away from you. Learn it. Go for your like goals and everything. Just try to improve. Do what you can. Come with a plan. Work towards it. Because if you're in my position where everybody basically is against you and they say you can't do this, you have no talent for it or anything like that. Like I don't like for me, I'm kind of lucky. I at least do have one person supporting me. My cousin. Like she at least supports me in this, and I'm supporting her in what she wants to do because she's kind of in the same boat I am, where like a lot of people are just kind of like looking down on her goal, what she wants to do, even though what she wants to do isn't like a crazy idea. It's like totally possible and probable. Just everybody just shooting down her idea for some reason, just telling her she can't do it. I don't know why. Like she's basically working towards it, getting stuff set up. She's just kind of like basically she's kind of holding herself back a little bit, but she is at least pushing herself and trying to get further. Once she kind of gets past her self-doubt a bit, which again I understand where it's coming from because everybody else just kind of like being terrible to you, but once she gets past that, I guarantee you she'll succeed in this. And once she succeeds, then everybody will come out of the woodwork and be like, oh yeah, she's doing this, she did this, use her as an example of what to do. And then everybody's like, oh yeah, we always believed she could do it. And it's like, yeah, me and her both know nobody was on her side except for like both of us. We were only on each other's side, and that's really it. Everybody else basically just gave up on us until it succeeded. So yeah, there's just a good like bit of evidence and everything and stuff like that too for me to like hold on to. So I achieve my goal, and in the future, if I make something that's actually pretty good and become successful, then I can use these videos to just kind of remember, or as like proof and evidence that nobody really was on my side except for my cousin, and that's really it. So yeah, just a thing that just to think about and all that. Well, so far I'm recording this like at 6 in the morning and everything, so yeah, I'm pretty tired. So basically that's all I really wanted to say. Just because my plans have changed and I'm going to be graduating earlier, I'm going to try to like make more videos and do more stuff. But once my time kind of is up, I basically have less time to really be doing this. So after trying to come up with like a pretty good schedule so I can consistently keep making these videos, which the point of these videos is basically give me a reason to keep practicing and forcing me to kind of have a time limit. So I'm like, okay, I need to practice this, improve on it, and then make a video on it, at least introducing it and then seeing my progress. So that's the main thing with that, where at least these videos are forcing me to at least have a path and stay on track. So this is definitely a good thing. I really like that I'm doing. But for that and everything and stuff, again, the main emphasis is don't give up. Keep going on what I want to do for the future. And here's hoping that me and anyone else listening, we go achieve our goals and we can at least look back at this and go, yeah, everybody was against us, but we at least got a story of how we succeeded. So, to myself and everybody else, see you in the next one.